Hello and welcome to this My Theme Shop video screencast. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a full run through of how to set up the best theme from My Theme Shop. As you know, Best is a responsive, clean and beautiful magazine WordPress theme that features an engaging design that's fully responsive, loads incredibly fast and is fully customizable. Now before we get started with the setup, you'll want to make sure that you have a good knowledge of WordPress. To make sure you've got this, head over to mythemeshop.com/WordPress-101 and here you'll find a full video library of videos showing you how to get up and running with WordPress. If you've already got a good knowledge of WordPress, then you might like to check out WordPress 201, the advanced WordPress tutorials, and you can just get your skills up to speed there. Once you're ready to get started, the first thing to do is to head over to the My Theme Shop member area at mythemeshop.com/go/member. Here you'll want to find your active premium resources and just expand Best and then press download and then theme files. You want to save that onto your computer and then head over to your WordPress dashboard, and here we can get started installing the theme. You want to go to Appearance and then press on Themes and then click Add New, and then you want to upload theme. Now you can just add in the zipped file that you've just downloaded. You want to select that, press Open and then press Install Now. WordPress is going to upload the theme and then install it on your site, and all you have to do is just press Activate in order to activate the theme. You're then going to be taken to a page which will show you some recommended plugins. These aren't necessary but will improve the user experience for users with your WordPress theme. If plugins need to be installed, then you can see you'll have a notification here saying not installed, and you can follow the link to get the plugin. If you've got the plugin installed on your site but not activated, you'll have a quick link to activate, and if the plugin is already running on your site, then you have the option to manage the plugin. Once you've set those up, we can head over to Appearance and then press on Theme Options, and it's here that we'll find the main control center for your theme. In this video, I'm going to be showing you all of the different options down the left-hand side and take you through these one by one. Before we get started though, you'll want to head to the bottom and then click on Import and Export. Here you will find a preset option panel, and you can find you have all of the preset options found on the demos on mythemeshop.com, and you can import any of these layout, including the theme options, widgets and demo content if you would like, with just one click. So here I'll import the theme options, widget and content. You can choose just to import the options or the options and the widgets. Do whatever suits your needs best. You do have the option to remove the content once you are finished. So I'm just going to install this. The dialog will ask if you're sure. You can press OK, and you just got to wait for those to install. The theme will tell you once that is all completed, and you can just press OK. The page will reload, and you're now going to find that you have all of the content imported onto your site. This allows you to get set up really quickly and just customize from the demo rather than set up everything by yourself. So we'll now have a look at all of the different options on the options panel here. First, you'll find the general settings, and this tab contains setting options which can be applied to the whole theme. This includes things such as your logo image. I'll just remove this in order to show you how to add your own logo. You can press Browse in order to load up the WordPress media library, and then you can either choose an image you've already uploaded or press Upload Files and then select Files in order to add in an image you've already created. Here I'm going to select my logo, press Open, and then once that's uploaded, I'll just press Select Image in order to add my logo. It's the same process for favicons, touch icons, which are used on iOS 2 Plus and Android 2.1 Plus, as well as Metro icons, which will represent your website on Internet Explorer 10. You also have the option to add your Twitter username. So here I can just type mine in here in order to add Twitter features to the theme, and add your FeedBurner URL. You might want to do this in order to get extra analytics on those reading your site via RSS. This wants to be the full URL, so feeds.feedburner.com/mythemeshop would be mine, for example. Below that, you can also add any specific code you need to add to the header, and this might include Google Webmaster Tools verification, Bing Webmaster Center, buy-sell ad script, Alexa verification, and so on. You also have the option to customize the footer code, and that can include things such as Google Analytics, Clicky, or Stat Counter. You'll find you also have the option to customize the pagination type. This is going to be set to default, which is next, previous, or a numbered, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, or you have two AJAX options. This can either be a load more button or an auto infinite scroll. AJAX is a technology that allows extra content on your site to be loaded without actually reloading the page. So I'll just change this to a load more button, press save, and then if we have a look at my homepage, we're going to see that on the homepage, if we scroll down to the bottom, we've got the standard layout, but at the bottom we've got an option to load more posts. If we click on this, then extra posts are going to load without actually reloading the page. This is a really nice way of changing the user experience. You also have the option to have this set to infinite scroll, so that if a user gets to the bottom of the page, then extra posts are going to load automatically. I'm just going to leave this on load more. You also have the options to add AJAX quick search. This will have results for the search forms displaying instantly. So I'll just turn this on and then have a look at our site. If we just refresh here, then you'll see that if I do a search on the sidebar here, I can just start typing and search results are going to display immediately. I don't actually have to even load the search results page. That's a really nice feature you can add again to improve the user experience. And you'll also turn on or off the responsiveness of the theme. This is whether the theme responds to device size, so for example having mobile or tablet devices with a specific design of the site. You probably want to leave this on, but if you want to turn it off for any reason, you can do so. If you're using the WooCommerce plugin, you also have the option to customize the number of products used, but the WooCommerce plugin must be enabled in order to use this. Once you're done, you want to make sure you save those changes, and next we can have a look at the Performance tab. This tab contains performance-related options which can speed up your website. First up, you'll see you have the option to turn on or off prefetching. Now, prefetching works by if a user is on the home page, then single pages will load faster, and if a user is on a single page, then the home page will load faster in modern browsers. It just preloads some of that extra for you. You might want to turn this on in order to speed up your site. You also have the option to add lazy loading for images. This will delay the loading of images outside of the actual space on the screen until the user scrolls to them. So I'll just save this and show you what that looks like here. I'll just load up the homepage, and you'll see as we scroll down the page, images are loading as we get to them rather than all at once at the start. This means the initial load response is faster and users can get on your site faster and also reduce your server load. You can customize this further though. For example, you might want to have lazy loading off for featured images so that they load initially, but on for post content images. You also have the option to add async JavaScript tags to improve your page download speed, and that just means your JavaScript is going to load as fast as everything else all at once. You can also remove verb parameters from your CSS and JavaScript file calls, which may improve the speed in some browsers which do not have caching files in their parameters. If you're using the WooCommerce script, you can turn on optimizing WooCommerce scripts, but again, the WooCommerce plugin must be installed and activated for this to work. You also have the option to add a caching plugin. We'd recommend using one of two plugins, either W3 Total Cache or WP Super Cache. Both of these are free and you can install those just by following these links. As always, you'll want to make sure you save your changes once you are done. And we can now have a look at the styling options. With this tab, you have the option to customize the visual appearance of your theme, including colors, layouts, and patterns. The first option you'll see is the main color scheme. With this color picker, you can control the main color scheme used throughout your site. You've got the option to use this color picker in order to choose any color on the color spectrum. If you want to get to preset colors, then you can get to blacks and grays here, as well as various other preset colors here. So we were on this blue color before. I might change this to a red. You can also change the intensity and the tint, or reset to the default, as well as add a custom hex code in order to get a specific color if that's what you're after. So with that color changed, I'll just save those changes, and if we now refresh our site, we're going to see with only a couple of clicks we completely changed the color scheme of our site, and that might well fit much better with our brand. So you can add those in just to make sure your site really looks how you want it. You also have the option to change the default sidebar position for your site. This can be overridden for individual posts in the post editor, but this just sets a global standard. So if I want to move my sidebar to the left, I can do so, and I'll just show you what that looks like on the homepage. If we refresh, we're going to see that the sidebar has moved from right to left. Additionally, you've got the option to customize the site background. And this can be either a solid color, a pattern, or a background image, as well as a gradient. You can use this color picker again to choose a background color. I'll just leave this on white, but you can choose any of these colors on the color spectrum, and it's the same as before with the color picker. You can also choose a background pattern, and here you can choose between any of these preset patterns. I'm just going to go for a subtle pattern here in order just to add a little bit of detail to my site. You can add a background image. Here you can load an image either from your media library or you can upload, as well as choose the background repeat, attachment, background position and size. You can also choose whether to have a parallax effect on or off. Finally, you have the option to choose a gradient, and this can be between two colors, and you can also choose the direction of the gradient. I'm just going to set this one to a subtle pattern, so if I just save that and then refresh our site, you'll see we've got this nice background pattern added to the theme. You also have the option to add any custom CSS. This will overwrite the default CSS used on your site. If you're making more advanced changes though, you'll want to create a child theme, and we'll cover this later on. Finally, you have the option to add a lightbox. A lightbox is a stylized pop-up that allows visitors to view larger versions of images without actually leaving the current page. This is a nice way of improving the user experience, and you can just turn this on or off here. Make sure you save your changes once you are done, and the next tab we can have a look at is the header tab. With this tab, you can control the elements of the header section. This includes the navigation background. Here you can choose a color as before, a background pattern, image as before, as well as a gradient. I'm just going to leave this with a color, but you can choose any of the others as you would like. You also have the option to customize the header background. Again, you can set a background color using the color picker, background image, and again, this can be a pattern, an image, or a gradient, as well as choose whether a parallax effect is on or off. I'm just going to go with the same pattern as before, as with the backgrounds, just for a little bit of consistency there. You also have the option, if you would like to disable the entire header section. You also have the option to show or hide the navigation menu and choose whether your navigation menu is a floating navigation menu. If this is on, then if we just save this and load up our site, then you'll see that as we scroll down the page, the navigation menu, if we just wait for this to load, scrolls down the page with us, and the navigation comes and is accessible from any point on the page. If we have the navigation menu not floating though, as I'll show you here, if we just refresh now, you'll see as we scroll down the page, the navigation is just going to stay where it is, and to get back to it, you're going to have to scroll back up again. So users can choose between these two in order to get the best for you on your site. Next up, we have the homepage. Here you can control elements of the homepage, including the homepage slider. You can choose whether to have this on or off, and if this is off, then the extra options are going to disappear. If you've got this on though, then you can choose the categories that display on the slider, and you can just click as many of these as you would like. You can remove these as well as select all in order to get them all showing on your site. You can choose the number of posts to display, and you can just enter a number in here, as well as add custom slides instead of automatically generated slides from your post. To do this, you can just press Add Slider, add in a title, upload an image, add some text description, and add a link if you would like to. You can add as many of these slides as you would like, and also move them around. You can expand and then delete slide if you would like to, and you've got full control with these. I'll just leave those off, but you can add as many custom slides as you like there. Next up, you have the option to set a featured section title. This can just be the title, and then next you can choose the actual content. Again, you can click on the box here in order to load up a drop down and then add as many categories as you would like. So here I'm just going to add the breaking category to correspond with the title. Next up, you have the option to select the category sections appearing on the homepage. This can either be latest posts as it is here, or it can be any category that you've got on your site. You can choose any of these as well as choose the layout. This can either be one column or two column grid, and also the number of posts. For latest posts, this is going to be grabbed from settings and then reading, and you can change that there. I'm just going to leave this with latest posts, but you can choose any of these categories if you would like. Finally, you have the option to customize the homepage post meta info. This allows you to control what meta info appears on the homepage, and you can drag and drop in order to enable or disable these. That includes categories, date, comment count, and author name. So here I might just add in author name and categories, but remove the date and keep the comment count, but perhaps rearrange it. I'll save those changes, and if we refresh our site, then we're going to see that on the homepage here, we now have added in the author name and then comment count and then categories, but we haven't got the date added there. You can customize those to get them looking exactly how you want. And once you're done, as always, make sure you save your changes. Next, we can have a look at the footer option, and here you can control the elements displaying in your footer. This includes the copyright text, and here you can customize any of this just using this plain text. And if you're linking to mythemeshop.com, then you can earn 70% commission on the sales you're referring. And to find out more about the affiliate program, you can just follow this link here. You can enable or disable the footer carousel, and you'll see that disabling that turns off some of the options. If you're having this on, you can choose the categories to display, and again you can click on these in order to load up the categories you've already got on your site, or you can just press select all in order to add them all in. You can choose where you would like the footer carousel to appear, so you might have this on the homepage, single post, or other pages. We might just have this on our homepage and untick the others in order to disable that from the other pages. You also got the option to customize the background color of the footer carousel, so we might go for blue to complement our main color, which is red. You also have the option to enable or disable footer widgets, and if you keep this enabled, you're going to find these options under appearance and then widgets. We'll come to widgets later on. You can also change the number of widget areas in the footer and choose whether to have 3 or 4. I'm just going to leave this with 3 here. You also have the option to set the footer background. This can be a background color, as we're used to by now, as well as a pattern, an image, or a gradient. I'm just going to leave this with the color. And finally, you have the option to set the copyright background color. You might want to choose this if you've customized any of the others in order to make sure this blends in correctly. I'll just save those changes, and if we now refresh our site, then we're going to see that if we scroll down to the bottom of the page, we've got the footer carousel, as well as 3 widget areas and then the copyright text. If we just load up a post though, then we're going to see that we've not got the carousel on post, as we selected for it only to be displaying on the homepage. Next up then, we can have a look at single posts, and here you can control the appearance and functionality of your single post page. This includes the single post layout, and here you can customize the look of your single posts. You can drag and drop these in order to get them displaying how you want. So I might have the post content first, and then tags, and then the author box. If you expand the post content, you're going to find options for displaying related posts. You can choose whether to have these displaying on the right, the left, below, or have no related posts at all. If you're choosing to have related posts, then you can also choose a number. I might have my related posts on the right hand side. You also have the option for tags, and if you expand the author box, you can choose whether to show or hide the email author link. I might disable this and then press OK. If we save those changes and then just refresh this post we were on just now, then we're going to see that we've got the related post now displaying on the right hand side, and then the tags and then the author box displaying below that. So this adds some really nice customization options. You can also disable any of these if you would like to. You can also customize the meta info that's displaying, including categories, date, comment count, author name, and tags. As you're used to by now, you can remove these around in order to customize how they're displaying, as well as disable any of these. As we've already got tags displaying below, we might disable them from the meta info. I'll save those changes, and you can see that those changes are displaying on the site immediately. Just here we've got the post meta info displaying as we've set it in the theme options. You can have breadcrumbs, which is a great way to make your site more user-friendly. You'll see these are our breadcrumbs here. They just show the parent categories going right up to the homepage. You can choose whether to highlight comments made by authors in the comments section and turn on or off the date in the comments. As always, once you're finished customizing those, you can save your changes and those are going to appear on your site immediately. You also have the option to change the social buttons. You'll see on our site at the moment, as we scroll down the page, these social sharing buttons are floating on the right hand side. We can customize whether these are displaying above the content, below the content, or floating. If I wanted to change these to below content, I could do so. And if we just refresh our site, we're going to see those move from beside the content, floating, to below the content. And these are now displaying here, just above the tags and author box. You can also choose whether to turn these on or off for all pages, as well as customize the buttons that display. You have Facebook Share, Facebook Like, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and StumbleUpon. You can move these to disable or enable them, as well as move these around in order to customize. So if I wanted to make those changes, I could just save that, refresh my site, and we'll see that I now have those buttons displaying in the order I've already selected. That just adds a little bit of extra customizability to your site. As always, once you're finished, you want to save those changes. And next up, we can have a look at ad management. In this tab, we've got ad management, which is made easy, and you can control everything without the need for separate plugins. The best theme comes with two ad areas, that's below post title and below post content. And for both of these, you have the option to disable ads for a certain number of days after the post is published. You might want to set this for 7, for example, in order to make sure that the ad only displays a week after the post is published. You might want to do this in order to make sure that regular visitors don't see adverts on your site, but those coming from search engines do see those adverts. You can set this to 0 to turn that off, and you've got the same options for below post content, which is the second ad area. You can just add a number in here, and you can set this to any number that you would like, but 0 turns that off. Once you've got your advert set up, you can save those changes, and next up we can have a look at the custom sidebars. Now for the custom sidebar section, as well as navigation, typography and widgets, you're going to find detailed videos specifically on these features at community.mythemeshop.com or in the WordPress 101 video pack that we looked at the start. So we're going to run through these now, but if you need any extra help with these, then you'll find dedicated videos available also. Now, the custom sidebar feature gives you full control over the sidebar, and this is a really innovative feature for your site. You can add individual sidebars for any section of your site, or you can select custom sidebars on a per post basis in the post editor. You can add custom sidebars just by pressing add sidebar, and here you can add in a name. So I might apply this sidebar only to the search pages on the site. So I'll add the name in search sidebar, as well as an ID, which can just be sidebar and then dash search. I'll press OK, and then you need to save those changes. Now we're ready to apply that custom sidebar to our site. You'll see here you have options for all of the different types of pages displaying on your site, including the homepage, single post, single page, archive, all the different custom archives, as well as search, 404 errors, as well as the pages associated with the WooCommerce plugin. We're looking for search, so we can see here under search, we can drop down here and choose between the default and the sidebar we've just created. We'll apply the search sidebar here, and you can also apply it, if you would like to any other page on this site. It's going to include your homepage, as well as for single posts, you've got the option whether to choose between default, search, and no sidebar, and you also have that option for pages as well. We're just going to set this to display on search, so if we just save those changes. Now when we're setting up our widgets, which we can do under appearance and then widgets, you're going to see we've got this extra widget area here, and I'll just drop a calendar in order to just set this up very quickly. So for the search sidebar area, we're only going to have the widgets displaying in this widget area rather than in the standard widget area. So we'll see this is our standard sidebar here, but if I do a search on the site and then hit return, then we're going to see that I've got this calendar displaying, and any widgets I have in the widget area set for search are also going to display there. So this is a really neat way of customizing. You can add as many sidebar areas as you would like, as well as remove them by pressing delete, and you just need to save your changes once you've added the sidebar area, and then you can add them from the drop down. Next up we have the navigation, and here this gives you a link to the WordPress navigation menu. Clicking on this will take you to the WordPress menu editor, and here you can either create a new menu or customize a menu you've already got. On the left hand side, you're going to see you've got all of the content. So you've got pages. You can just press view all in order to access all of your pages, and you can tick these and press add to menu in order to add those in. You've also got individual posts where you can view your most recent post, all your posts, or search for a specific post. And again, you can just tick and then press add to menu. You can add custom links. These can be links to any website you like, and you can set the URL as well as the link name. And finally, you've got categories. Again, you can choose between most used or view all in order to access all of your categories. So if I wanted to add a breaking category link into the menu, I just need to tick that, press add to menu, and I'm going to find that added to the bottom of the menu. From here, I can drag and drop this in order to move this around, including add submenus just by indenting here. I might add this category in as a subheading of life, and I could just drop that in there. If you expand, you also have the option to customize the label, the title attribute, add any custom CSS classes, choose an icon, and here there are hundreds of icons to choose from to find something appropriate, as well as to optionally select a color as well. Selecting the color brings up the color picker, which you'll be used to from the rest of the theme options. You can save your menu once you're done setting that up, as well as dragging and dropping in order to customize it. And now if you head to manage locations, you're going to find the option to apply that menu to the two menu areas. You can click this drop down in order to access all of the menus you've created, and you can apply navigation to the desktop part of your site, as well as on mobile you can select a specific menu to display as well. So if we just update this to the menu we created, save those changes, and then have a look at our site, then we're going to see that the navigation has been updated to reflect the options we just set. The WordPress menu editor makes it really easy for you to customize all of this, and you can just spend some time playing around with these menus in order to get it set up exactly how you want it. We're ready to head back to the theme options though, and next up we have the typography section. From here you can control all of the fonts used on your site. You can choose between the 17 standard font sets or the 600 plus fonts available in the Google font library. Because there are so many fonts available, you might want to follow this link in order to find a font that you want before getting it set up. With each of the different font areas on your site, all the way from your logo to your headings, your sidebar font and so on, you're going to find the same options available, and I'll just show you through one of them using the content font as the example. You can customize the font itself by expanding this one here, and you're going to find first these 17 web safe fonts, and if you scroll past that, then you're going to come to the Google custom fonts. You can also choose Google fonts just by searching, so if I start typing here, then it loads up the relevant Google fonts that fit my search results. So I can change the content font here just by selecting this font. And if there are font weights available, I can also choose these, as well as choose the font size. So I might just change this here, as well as use the color picker in order to change the font color. If you click on more, then you're going to find you have additional options, including the CSS selectors this is applied to, any additional CSS you want to add, for example, text decoration, and a fallback font. This is important to add just in case there are any issues loading the font. If you're going for a light font color, you can choose a dark background in order to see what that would look like on your site. And as I mentioned, you can apply the same thing to all of the fonts available here. And at the bottom, you can also choose the character sets you want to include. Note that these aren't available for all fonts, but if you're using a language with non-Latin characters, then you can add in these here just by ticking the boxes. Once you're done, you want to make sure you save your changes, and if we just refresh our homepage, then we're going to see that the main body font changes to this font that we just added, and we can see that here with the slightly larger font size as well. Next up then we have the import and export tab, and we've already looked at this earlier. We saw the preset options, but below that you've also got some other important options. You can import and export your options code for all of the theme options you've set up on your site. So if I just press show export code here, then you're going to see I can copy and paste this and perhaps save it into a separate file as a backup. I can also, if I'm moving between sites, press import code and then paste in the exact code I've just copied in order to load up all of my options very quickly. So it allows you to keep a backup as well as move between sites easily. If you're making advanced customizations to your site and don't want to lose those changes once you're updating your theme, then you can create a child theme. You can do this just by typing in a name, so I might add best child theme here, and then press create child theme. It's going to create that automatically for you, and then you can then go to appearance and then themes, activate the child theme, and then make any code changes you want to, and that will make sure all of your changes are future-proofed. Once you're done, as always, you want to make sure you save your changes. Finally then, we can have a look at widgets, and we'll find these under appearance and then widgets. Here you have the options for all of the widgets and the widget areas on your site. On the left hand side, you're going to find all of the available widgets, and the custom My Theme Shop widgets are denoted by the MTS prefix. On the right hand side, you're going to have all of the available widget areas. This includes any additional widget areas you've added and any widget areas you've activated in the theme options. So here we have the 3 footer areas. You can add widgets to any widget area just by dragging and dropping. So for example, if I wanted to add some posts from a category, and I can just drag and drop this widget into the widget area I would like to display it in. Dropping the widget reveals some options, and here for example with this widget, you can set a title, a category, the number of posts to show, title length, and so on. I'll just customize these options quickly, and if I press save, then on my site, if we just refresh the homepage, we're going to see that this has been added immediately to the sidebar. You can drag and drop widgets in order to customize how they are displaying, as well as move widgets between widget areas. So if I wanted to replace the recent posts in the footer with this category posts, then I can drag and drop, and if I expand this widget, I can then delete it in order to remove it. So we'll refresh our homepage, and we're going to see that that has removed from the sidebar and has now been added into the footer. You've got all of these options available for widgets, and you'll want to spend some time playing around in order to get these set up exactly how you want. As I mentioned, if you've got any other custom widget areas, you're going to find them available here. So that concludes our look around the Best theme. As I mentioned, Best is a really responsive and fast WordPress theme, and hopefully with these options set up, you're going to have a really great website to use it on. If you run into any problems, then head over to community.mythemeshop.com and someone will be able to help you out. I hope this video has been helpful, and thank you very much for watching.